The tires this boat came with weren't bad, but at the same token, I didn't want to go through and check all the date stamps on them and figure out what the date stamps were on them and how old they are and everything else. So I really wanted to put new tires on it before we ever started dragging this thing around. I got to looking at getting 2 new tires and putting them on the existing wheels. And then I also wanted to get a spare tire for it and got to doing the math on it. And instead of doing a spare tire and 2 new tires, well, a spare tire and wheel and 2 new tires, I got on Amazon and realized, you know, it's cheaper just to buy 2 brand new tires and wheels already mounted up, shipped to your door for less than 2 new tires mounted on my existing wheels. So I went through, I ordered the 2 new tires and wheels, got them put on the trailer. That then afforded me a spare tire as well. I don't care if the spare tire is the old tire, it's just got to get me someplace to get it fixed. Now, I went ahead and was trying to contemplate where to put the spare tire. Part of me was thinking a loom in here wouldn't be a bad location, but at the same token, I know from mounting the boat and the motor on this trailer that it is very, very back end heavy with the motor that we're getting ready to put on this. So I'm trying to get as much weight up forward on the tongue of this boat as possible in order to counter the weight of the motor. I know this because I went ahead and had the boat on the trailer and I was test fitting the motor on it earlier, and the boat and trailer did a wheelie. It was quite impressive. So that let me know we needed more weight up front on the trailer to counter the weight of the motor. So that's where we decided to do the spare tire. I basically laid it in there, drilled a hole, went through and welded it for the first post, put it back in, drilled a hole and welded it for the second post so that the tire can just slide right on. Fits quite nice. And then it'll get wing nuts and lock washers and fender washers in order to keep everything in place while we're in transit and until we need it. All in all, I think the setup turned up pretty good. The other nice part about having the tire up here is it does give you one more large point that you can step on to get onto the catwalk and start getting the boat off the trailer. So it's kind of double purpose. Gives you something to stand on, and it also moved the weight up front on the boat, on the trailer. Should balance out the motor better, and by the time we get the rest of the stuff into the boat, I think it won't be near as back heavy. If it is, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So that was basically where we're at with the tires on it, what we did, why we did what we did, and we'll get the first side in a second. So that sits right up against the edge of this angle. We're going to have to buzz one of these sides off so we can mount it flush. And then we'll get into the spicy weldy stuff. Also, it's a carriage bolt, so it's got square sections. We got to get those off so it'll sink all the way up into the drill hole. Get him tacked into place. First we got to clean the paint off. And yes, I did change outfits. I don't know how many coats, shirts, pants I have ruined doing hot work. So I went ahead and got some fire resistant jumpers.